Lesson 28. Now we are going to be looking at word problems that have two steps. Before we had talked about combining, separating, comparing, elapsed time, equal groups, and parts of a whole. But often word problems are going to take more than one step to solve. So let's practice a couple of those. Julie went to the store with $20. If she bought 8 cans of dog food for 67 cents per can, how much money did she have left? Okay, so what part of the problem do we need to solve first? First, we need to find out how much she spent. And then we can subtract it from what she had and what she has left. So what was spent? She bought 8 cans for 67 cents each. So we need to multiply 67 cents by 8 cans. So she spent $5.36. Now we want to find out how much is left. So we're separating. We're taking her $20 and we're going to subtract the $5.36. We're going to turn this into 19. This will be 9 and this will be 10. 4 and 6. 19 minus 5 is 14. So she has $14.64 left. Let's try a different one. Calculating an average is often a two-step process. As an example, let's look at a pile of coins. We have 1 in this pile, 4 in this pile, 3 here, 5 over here, and 2 in this one. There are 15 coins total. If we made the stacks all the same size, let's move this one down here, and this one down here, and then 1 back over here, and maybe 1 over here. So if we did that, we would have 2 original, and we've moved 1 more. We'd have 3 left here. We took 1 and put it way over here on top of the 2 that we already had, and we moved 2 of those. Why we did that, that was a lot of extra moving. So we have 3 coins in each stack now. So that was kind of 2 steps. We had to add how many we had total and then divide them out into the right stacks. So there are 4 teams participating in a scavenger hunt. Team A has 7 players. Team B has 9 players. Team C has 6 players. And D has 10 players. What's the average number of players? The average is the sum divided by the number of groups. So we have to first add all of this up. 7 and 9 is 16, and 10 and 6 is 16, and 16 and 16 is 32 total. Now, 32 divided by 4 groups makes 8 per group. So the average took 2 steps. We had to add, and then we had to divide. Let's do one more example of average. When people were seated, there were 3 in the first row, 7 in the second row, and 20 in the third row. What was the average number of people in the first 3 rows? So we know that for average, we have to add them up. 20 plus 7 plus 3. 7 and 3 makes 10, so 10 and 20 is 30 total. Now I'm going to take the 30 total and divide by the 3 rows. 30 divided by 3 is going to be 10 per row. So there is an average of 10 people in each of the first 3 rows. The average is going to be greater than the smallest number, but less than the biggest number in our set. Another name for average is the mean. We can find the mean of a set of numbers by adding the numbers and then dividing that total by the number of sets. So last example, we often find the average when we're talking about grades. Robert took 20 math tests. On 5 tests, he scored 100. On 4 tests, he scored a 95. On 6 tests, he scored a 90, and 5 tests, he scored an 80. What is the average or the mean of all of his scores? So we know that there's 20 total. 5 and 4 and 6 and 5 makes a total of 20. Now we have to find out what is the total grades. Well, 5 of them were 100. So that's 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. That's 500 points in those 5 tests. 4 of them were 95. That's 380. 6 90s is 540. And 5 80s is 400. Now we have to add all of this up. Now the 5 and the 5 make 10. 3 and 4 is 7. 1 more is 8. Okay, so 1,820 points total, divided by 20 tests in all. So here we can look at what we just practiced in the last lesson is dividing both the top and the bottom by 10. And we get 182 divided by 2. So now we just cut 182 in half. So the 2 and the 2 is 1, and the 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9. So his mean score is a 91. So in this case, we had to do some multiplying, then adding, then dividing.